Hi all, this is Solo, and today we had a official Digimon channel drop with a roundtable talk with the producer and director of Digimon Story Time Strangers. And what if I told you that the devs built a giant Toy Agumon, almost cut it, then saved it by reworking it and the encounter. And today we're opening the devs playbooks for Digimon Story Time Strangers, all the near cuts, all the secret systems, the hidden development stories, and the DLC teasers the team revealed in their roundtable talk. So stick around, this is going to be packed with things only the devs know. So let's get into it. So this game blew up. Digimon Story Time Strangers blew up. It was a surprising player reaction, and the team who actually made the game, the devs, they were actually shocked in the best way. It's a huge chunk of players that said this was their first Digimon game ever, and the devs said that the launch was one of the most fulfilling moments of their careers, and the fan feedback shaped their post-release plans in a positive way. What that means for us as the fans or as the players, that means we are probably going to get more content. That's probably what was released, hopefully, and they actually shaped it into a positive light for the developers as well, which is massive for the players because if they're happy, then they're going to make more content for us to keep us happy, right? So story details you might not know as the player. So how it worked in the release version of the game. You are Adamus agent in the game in the story, and in Tokyo, who gets blasted back 8 years into the past after a mysterious Digimon explosion. That is the actual release version of how the story works in Digimon Story Time Strangers. But earlier drafts were actually widely different. Originally, the opening took place inside a cafe, and a mysterious old man tells the protagonist a strange story. Then something happens outside. That entire intro was actually reworked completely, but its influences still live in the Shinjuku map design. But the actual opening was completely reworked. So the map design, it was actually chaos, glitches, gags, and almost rebuilds, right? So the map in this game was actually pure madness behind the scenes. So you had the Gear Forest. It was actually intentionally confusing. The mini map doesn't help you vertically on purpose. It rewards you by wandering around instead of holding your hand. That's actually a good thing in my opinion. You know that weird floor that shifts under your feet in Junomon's area? That was literally an artist messing around, and the devs team saw it and was like, I like the vibe, dude. Yeah, okay, let's just keep it. So it wasn't actually intended. It was actually just a artist just messing about, and the devs just liked it, right? So we actually got that really cool scene when we're walking through up into Junomon's area. That was actually all accidental in a sense. That was just people messing about, and yeah, that's really cool, dude. I actually really like that area. So that was a massive W for the devs. Shinjuku was actually rebuilt so many times. The devs joked it became the more Shinjuku than the real Shinjuku. And honestly, you can actually feel it. You can feel the rework, right? If you go back and look, you can see that they probably took a lot of time in the detail just to try and make sure it is as perfect as it can be. So I really like the fact that the devs put an extra time into that to make that just that little bit better, right? Especially in all the little details actually, they help. The game was amazing because of it, right? So getting to the intro of this video, the giant toy Agumon that was almost cut. So the team created a massive toy Agumon encounter, which is actually still in the game. It's actually a side mission. It's got full animations, jaw-dropping scale, but during balancing and pacing reviews, they said in the video that it was actually nearly removed entirely. Instead of actually deleting it, they reworked and resized the idea, so it survived in the release version. The devs actually said they'd often wondered the build and find incredible things. That didn't fit the story, but Toy Agumon was one of them almost lost creations. So there is actually a chance that it was there's a very small chance, well, not small chance, there's actually a very big chance actually nearly got cut from the game completely, and we wouldn't have had that giant Toy Agumon side quest. We wouldn't have had it at all. And if you have completed the game already and you see that Toy Agumon side quest, that's actually something neat. That makes the game cool, right? Because you have them little side quests, and yeah, they're just really cool. And there's the small things like that make the game amazing, right? Just they all add up. They all add up, right? In terms of the most chaotic features that somehow worked that the devs talked about, they said Infermon was insanely fast. Bancho Leomon is hilariously slow. And the devs joke, "Men don't hurry," right? In the actual video, Birdmon gives you the anime perfect breaking into the sky moment. So there was obviously developers or artists in the background that really liked Birdmon, and they wanted to make Birdmon a bit more cooler than he probably should have been. And the Digiride was actually a late and risky system, but it paid off big. So they actually put Digiride in later on in the game, and there's almost a chance it wasn't actually going to be in the game at all. But it actually did pay off because riding the Digimon is massive, right? Every mount feels different because the team wanted to Digiride the Digimon to have personality, not just travel speed. That's why there's all different sort of animations when you get on different Digimon, right? Some have the Digimon have you carry on the shoulder, and some you ride on their back, and there's all different animations for that as well, which is cool. So there's combat secrets, cross arts, and dev level strategies in this game. The cross arts, obviously the flashy combo system, almost didn't survive development. The devs said it went through tons of rewrites before landing in the release version. And here's a dev tip straight from the roundtable talk. Nunomon's aged poop deals 15% of the enemy's max HP. It can clutch out fights like Volcanismon. And when you're low, yes, poop is actually the meta, which is absolutely insane. Because if you just start the game and you go into Volcanismon, which is sort of early mid game boss, I suppose you'd call it, the poop actually does 15% straight up damage, like straight up HP damage, which is insane for that sort of level, right? Especially if you ain't got the DLC. So there was also cut support skills, including a lost Terriermon buff. Terriermon buff. So Terriermon in this game was actually meant to have a buff, and it got cut. Don't know if they add that into DLC, maybe. I don't know. But a bunch of support skills were actually removed during the combat overhaul. One standout was Terriermon's SD card buff. It used to raise ally stats through the roof. Cute tactical, but ultimately didn't fit the final system. Probably the Terriermon would have been too meta, and you would have just had that in your team constantly 24/7. It would have been another Michael Jordan of Digimon, right? We got the healer in the game, and she before the nerfs, before the balance patches, she was the Michael Jordan. She is still extremely extremely strong, but Terriermon would have been that as well. And had Terriermon been like that, and you had Terriermon's buff as well as the healer's buff, you would have been god tier like pretty much instantly. And I think that's probably why they cut the Terriermon's SD card buff. Like I said, it used to raise ally stats through the roof, and it's actually, through the roof is a dramatic term as well. So it probably would have been incredibly high stats buff, which would have probably just broke the game. So they probably had to cut it because it's just too strong. So there was obviously partner selection and evolution logics as well. So the starter pool, the three people that are in the game now, the three Digimon in the game now were actually carefully chosen because they're popular, underused, and fitting the evolution lines the team wanted to highlight in the game. The devs wanted to highlight. This obviously includes the DNA Digivolution in battle, and it was designed for tactical, dramatic, and to be super satisfying to the player. So the devs obviously sort of fought this out really, really a lot. They didn't want to give you Digimon to start off with. That would just make you incredibly OP at the start. They chose it on purpose to try and have that Digivolution line and the progress as well when you progress through it. So yeah, then three Digimon were probably good starter Digimon. I mean, I didn't have no issues with them. I thought they were cool. So the character shift thanks to the music. So the composer thought that the main character of the game, Hiroko, was actually too serious. So he actually had to physically step in and be like, "Yo, this isn't right. We got to change this right now." So she would have actually had more serious tone, which would have probably been really bad. So it's a good idea that the composer actually did step in and sort of made Hiroko's character actually shift to that more lovable and sincere character, especially how the story plays out. I think that was a very good decision by the composer of the game, right? So we had the DLC tease, obviously in the roundtable chat as well. The alternate dimension, if you've seen it already. The first season pass has been teased. The episode pack 1, the alternate dimension pack, 5 new ultimate level Digimon, extra episodes filling the missing story details, which is a really big one. So extra episodes filling the missing story details for the DLC. It's going to be in the first DLC, and a cooler looking Captain Kameri cameo as well. So it's going to have some DLC skins. It's going to have 5 ultimate Digimon, and it's going to have the one I'm really looking forward to is the extra episodes filling in the missing stories blanks, maybe. So this expands the lore in ways the devs clearly enjoyed crafting. So they said on the talk that they enjoyed crafting this to fill in the gaps that they left out on purpose. Or maybe they didn't leave out on purpose. Maybe just ran out of time. I don't know. But going through the chat, they had this all. They've already got this all planned out, right? So the devs gave us a peek under the curtain, basically, in this chat. So the near cuts, the redesigns, the experimental systems, and wild stories like the giant Agumon that barely survived development. So what shocked you the most in this talk? I'll put the link in the video description for the actual the roundtable talk. It is in Japanese, but it is subtitled, so you can read it if you are English as well. So what did shock you the most? The cut of the Toy Agumon nearly, or the secret Numemon strat that does 15% HP by throwing poop, or they removed the Terriermon skill, which would have made your team super OP from like the get-go nearly, right? Drop it in the comments below and let me know what you think. If you want deep dive into bosses, maps, lore, or mechanics, let me know in the video description below what video you want me to do, because there's so many different Digimon videos I could make. I just don't know which ones you would like to see. If you want to see all of them, I could try to do that as well. But just let me know in the video comments below. Hit that like if you learned something new. Subscribe for more Digimon content, of course, and ring that bell if you want notifications. And this is Solo Brit, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.